Welcome back to News Now from Fox, everybody. We are taking a live look from the Franklin Mountain at El Paso, Texas, and there's Juarez, Mexico out in the distance as well. We are going to be heading there live this morning, and that's because Fox's Griff Jenkins is joining us to talk about Kevin McCarthy leading a congressional delegation to the southern border. Good morning, Griff. What can you tell us about today?
Well, good morning. First, let us show you where we are because you actually worked here at one time. This is the Paisano Bridge in El Paso, across from, as you mentioned, from Juarez. The bridge here, you see people that can go into Mexico, and then the bridge over here where they can come back across. And what House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy and the dozen Republicans that are coming down with him a little later are going to find, they're going to find an El Paso sector that's up 144% in the terms of the number of unaccompanied minors that are coming here, and a 231% increase in the single adults that are coming here. And he's going to hear from the officials, the Border Patrol officials, as well as perhaps maybe some of the residents here that simply want the politicians in Washington to take some politics out of the surging numbers they're seeing all along the southwest border and find some solutions to try and get things under control.
Griff, who will be joining McCarthy?
Well, among the dozen members that are coming, one of them is John Katko, the congressman who's the ranking member of the House Homeland Security Committee. And that's probably one of the main committees we're going to start hearing perhaps in the coming weeks from lawmakers in terms of putting forth some proposals, some solutions. Remember, President Biden came in on day one issuing a number of executive orders, one of which was to end Remain in Mexico, the Trump-era policy that forced asylum seekers to remain on the Mexico side. And what I have found in the last week, when I started in Matamoros and then came over into the Rio Grande Valley sector of Texas, I found that really when you talk to the officials, they say that the cartels are making great use of mixing up the message, because while Biden wanted to issue a more humane immigration policy than the previous administration, cartels have taken that and sent the word south to that northern triangle, to Honduras, Guatemala, in El Salvador, to simply blur the message to say, just come now, Biden will let you in, Biden will give you amnesty. And then when those migrants get up on the border, they're extorting them for money and charging them, at least in the case of the RGV sector, upwards of $1,200 to cross the Rio Grande River. And then those migrants are finding out that some are getting released in the U.S., but many are also getting sent back, certainly in the age of COVID.
Griff, just to recap, what are the questions and accusations surrounding the Biden administration's handling of the border?
Well, I think really what the big question is did the undoing of the Trump-era policies create this surge? And I think we're coming to a kind of bipartisan agreement that whether intended or not, it has. And what we have in Washington that frustrates border officials here is the semantic battle. Is it a crisis? Is it not a crisis? But in the case of these children, under 18 unaccompanied minors, we now know this morning that those numbers are up 61% from just January. The number is 9,457 unaccompanied minors crossed our southwest border in the month of February, and all signs are that it's getting higher. So the question facing the Biden administration right now is, what are you going to do? Now, we saw over the weekend DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas calling in, directing FEMA to assist HHS in receiving and caring for these unaccompanied minors in these shelters from Carrizo Springs to Donna, Texas. But more has got to be done because people are putting these children into a very, very dangerous journey, and they're coming across our border at alarming numbers right now.
All right, Fox's Griff Jenkins joining us live this morning on News Now from Fox. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Sun is rising, everybody. On the East Coast, you can see Capitol Hill here. Gorgeous live picture.